concentration of protons. Now these protons then will diffuse from this place to the intermembrane space freely without energy expense. Okay, mas daghan man diri og protons. Kaya ang electrons na hawa na naman diri. Sa crystal, sa membrane. Now, what is left is the protons, which is increasing in concentration. So, they will just diffuse freely without energy expense. So, ma-diffuse na siya from high concentration to lower concentration. Now, there will come a time, because this is passive. Now, there will come a time that in the intermembrane space, this creates gradient. When you say, we call that electrochemical gradient. Electrochemical gradient. Now, what is this gradient? Now, this is created out of the influx of these protons. Protons are positively charged into the intermembrane space through, say, we call it osmosis or diffusion. So they just diffuse, or passive. That is passive transport from high concentration to lower concentration. Now, with the increasing gradient here, because they will just diffuse freely, now that creates a gradient like you here ba. Now, say for example, class, you're only 15 here. The maximum, the actual number of students in this class is only 15. However, when you will be added with another 50 students, how would you feel? Say, how would you feel? Would you still be comfortable? Okay, so guot na. Guot na, so magsikuhanay na. Are you with me? And that is gradient class. Which is created, we call that electrochemical gradient out of the diffusion or out of the passive transport of these protons into the intermembrane space. Now, the result of this guot, so magsikuhanay na, dito ka. Transfer dito ba? Kay guot kayo. So that is gradient. So as a result, that energy that is created, because this electrochemical gradient creates, produces energy. Energy that will pump these protons. So you have here that gradient, electrochemical gradient will pump the protons back to the inside of the mitochondrion. But of course, with this, the pumping of these protons out of electrochemical gradient activates this protein here, we call that ATP synthase. That ATP synthase, which serves as the motor, that phosphorylates adenosine diphosphate to adenosine triphosphate. That is why there is ATP here, ATP, why there is no ATP here. Here, there is no gradient yet here. So you may ask me, ma'am, why there is no ATP production here when the electrons are passed from FADH2 to cytochrome B to cytochrome C. So there is no gradient here that is created. Now, why is there ATP production here that is created out of the gradient that is formed? And the gradient, or the electrochemical gradient, pumps those protons back to this place, of course, activating the ATP synthase to generate ATP formation, ATP molecule. So, when ATP synthase is activated, then there is phosphorylation. So, you have adenosine diphosphate plus inorganic phosphate becomes adenosine triphosphate. That is what is explained in chemoosmosis. Okay? So far, that is the best theory we can explain or use in explaining the mechanism of ATP generation. Okay, any question? Any question for this chemiosmosis or chemoosmosis? No more? Sabda na dili. Hey, people.
So, chemoosmosis to ba?
Chemoosmosis.
Theory for
Mechanism for ATP generation. Any question? Okay, we'll proceed. So, you have here the energy that is produced. No? So if you read that, then that's what I was explaining a while ago. No? The energy releasing oxidations give rise to proton pumping, and a pH gradient is created across the inner mitochondrial membrane. So you have here how it was emphasized. Any question? Okay, you just read that. You read more so you can reinforce my explanation. Okay, so you have here the ATP synthase activation generates ATP molecules. Okay. So we have other forms of energy. Of course, we have mechanical energy, heat energy, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we will discuss this.
Fatty acids and energy.
Multi-venous. Mag-veni tayo dun sa ano.
Okay, so we have a total of how many?
36.
Yes, 36 ATP molecules for every breakdown of glucose.
Staining.
So you have for oxidative phosphorylation, phosphate transfer.
Next. Final exam.
Now, how about glycerol class? Okay, what is glycerol? Remember, when lipids are broken, it gives you fatty acids and glycerol, which are the building blocks of lipids. So, of course, not all lipids contain both the fatty acids and glycerol. But for neutral fats or the triglycerides, they are made up of fatty acids and glycerol. Now, how would this be glycerol be used as energy? Now, glycerol can still be broken down, and this would also give or yield energy. So you have here, glycerol enters glycolysis via dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Asa meaning? Ikan. Can I erase this? Yes. So, if we have here, say glucose 6-phosphate, glucose 6-phosphate isomerization. Then you have fructose 1,6-biphosphate, and then this would be broken down into glyceraldehyde glycerol triphosphate. However, with the scheduling, before passing through here, dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Okay. And vice versa. No? So, pwede na siya hapon. That is reversible. Okay. Now, say, how is glycerol being broken? Now, glycerol enters this. So, you have here glycerol. Asan igikan ang glycerol? From lipids. Broken lipids, say. You have glycerol, which can be used as energy. So, enters into the glycolysis. So, you have dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Okay. Now, fatty acids in triglycerides are the principal storage form of energy for most organisms. Then, hydrocarbon chains are highly reduced form of carbon. And you have here energy yield per gram of fatty acid oxidized. Now, of course,